All right, welcome to House Talk. On today's show, we are going to be talking about the home energy score. This is an innovative new way. It's like a miles per gallon rating, but not for your car, for your house. This is a great way for home buyers, real estate agents, and home inspectors to get out in front of the issue of costs of home ownership. This can be a real issue for the bottom line of a lot of homeowners. And for this conversation, we have brought in Brent Loya. He is a program partner and a service provider for the Department of Energy, and he works for ID Energy. Brent, welcome to the program.
Dylan, man, thank you so much for having me, man. I'm so excited. I get so excited when people want to talk about the home energy score. So thanks for having me.
I love it. I love it. That's great. You're preaching the gospel, right, Brent?
I'm doing my damnedest, man. Doing my damnedest.
That's great. Well, so let's start out. Why don't you give us a kind of 30,000 foot elevation view of what is a home energy score?
Of course, man. So, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see these slides. You kind of have a couple bullet points about the home energy score. So, like Dylan said, it's in its basis a miles per gallon rating for a home. So, we kind of see this, 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, hopefully sooner than later, being just like that car sticker on your window. When you go to a dealership, every car has that mile per gallon rating on the window. We want that same rating on the window of every house that's for sale, so that consumers can understand the consumption of energy that each house uses. As inspectors or whatever profession you may be in listening to this, you very well know that a house is whether you want to call it an ecosystem or a machine, it's a system that uses energy, and we supply that energy. And with today's technology and things that are happening, we can truly decrease not only your costs but your carbon emissions. So the home energy score gives you that miles per gallon rating, so you're aware of where you're at. It also is going to provide you estimated energy costs based on your state average utility rates. So you're going to get a good idea of, okay, what am I going to be paying annually for energy in this home? And then on top of that, it's also going to generate some high-level DOE recommendations, things like adding insulation, updating heating or cooling equipment, and also include the estimated energy savings from those improvements. So you can see, so you can see, okay, if I get my insulation up to an R60, how much money is that potentially going to save me? If I, get rid of my old, gas boiler and go to a high efficiency furnace, how much is that going to save me? Things like that.
Yep. And then you can calculate your payback times on some of these things. That's fabulous. I have some personal experience. I was sort of into home energy efficiency probably a little bit ahead of my time here, but maybe 15 years ago or so. I worked hard to try to bring a energy efficiency program to the island, and as a home inspector, it turned out to be kind of a hard business. Why don't you tell me a little bit about kind of are you guys making some progress here? Are there certain parts of the country where you seem to be really digging in and having some traction with this?
Yeah, so it's actually kind of funny. A lot of people, especially in the inspection industry, they are just hearing about the home energy score, have just heard about it in the last year or two, which is great. It's as you're saying, definitely gaining traction in certain places across the country, even more so. But the program's actually been available, I believe, for a little over 6 years.
Wow.
When it first came out, you basically had to be kind of a BPI guy, or kind of more of a contractor-based person, and the program has since evolved immensely. So if you were looking into this program 4, 5, 6 years ago, it's almost a whole different story now today, with its versatility and kind of effectiveness. But I talked to a lot of guys who have the same story, Dylan. Home inspectors, there was a little bit of a wave, maybe. Yeah, I think you just said 15 years ago. I was going to say maybe 10 years ago, where people started getting into buying the blower doors and getting ready for kind of this energy need, which happened. Unfortunately, it kind of passed by the inspection industry, went straight to kind of new construction and builders with ResNet ratings and code compliance type issues, and other companies kind of outside of the real estate industry, which is really what home inspectors are the industry that they're in. Kind of went to some other industries as more of contractors and things like that started working directly with builders. So yeah, I talked to a lot of guys who said, shoot, I bought a blower door, I did this, I did that, I couldn't get it off the ground. And that is actually one of the reasons why we got involved with the home energy score from a home inspector's perspective, is because it does not require a blower door test.
Yeah.
It doesn't require duct blasters. It's, you know, it's truly meant to be, again, this mile per gallon rating, which is a basic estimate of energy efficiency, so we can really set consumers off on the right foot. I like to say that the home energy score creates a roadmap for a homeowner, buyer, seller to understand their efficiency and how to make it better.
Yeah, and that's really what you need, because you can't do all this stuff overnight, right? You need a plan of how you're going to get there. And another thing that strikes me about this that's great is, that was just it, right? There was BPI training, which was expensive and time consuming. There was blower doors and duct blasters and thermal cameras, and I'd gotten to the point where I could give people some pretty amazing data about their house, but it was very expensive data.
Absolutely.
So it sounds like you've been able to kind of, simplify this a little bit and make it so that, any home inspector can deliver some basic good information to consumers.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm the type of person who, I am a big advocate for climate action. I think that, people need to do a lot more than what they're doing with the day and age that we live in as far as energy goes. But I can't twist everyone's arm across the country, but if everyone in the country could just do a little bit, could be aware, take this first baseline level step. So for instance, I kind of say, like, if everyone in the country who's a homeowner got a home energy score and just increased their score 1 point, the amount of carbon emissions and energy that would save would be more than we'd be able to achieve at the current rate in the next 20 years. So it's simple. Some people might take it and they might invest into what you're talking about, into some higher level. Maybe they want to do solar, maybe they want to do ground source or something a little more intense and
geothermal
energy
heat pumps and
exactly. But for that everyday person who's like, hey, if you just, go to Home Depot and get some extra bats for that attic hatch that's leaking a bunch of air right now, look, your water heater is pretty old. If you update to this, you can, just that little bit of difference, again, is going to make a huge impact to your community and our country, and it's going to help save you money. So, if you're not concerned about climate, everyone's concerned about money. So
absolutely.
There's something in it for everyone.
So if you're listening here, if you're watching on YouTube, you get the benefit of looking at this. But Brent's provided us with a really cool little snapshot that shows a sort of theoretical house here with a score of a 3 that is, I assume, on this given day, this is how the house scored, but showed that with some improvements, you could score up to a 7 and really save. Let's see, save as much as $882 a year. I believe this is what's telling us.
Yeah, exactly.
So why don't you unpack this a little bit? There's some really cool stuff on these slides.
Sure. Yeah. So this slide is pretty much just like your quick overview of what the home energy score actually looks like when you get the report. So the homeowner gets it's a 1 to 10 score as far as what the home energy score is. So it's going to give you your score today. As Dylan just said, the score in this example is a 3. It's giving us our estimated annual energy cost. It's telling us, hey, today your score 3, annual energy cost is estimated to be $2,431. With improvements, you could get that annual cost down to $1,549, which would save you $882 a year. You could eliminate 36% of your CO2 emissions. So it's a really cool high level, and this is what buyers want to see, when they can see that estimated annual energy cost, so they can put that into their mind, their bills, their financing, and then they can see with improvements, and they can say, hey, well, over the next 5 years when we live here, if we, next year if we do this, and the year after we do that, and whatever, by the time we sell this house, we'll have an above average energy efficient home that actually wouldn't just help save us money in energy costs, help eliminate CO2 emissions, but could potentially make this house a more valuable home when we want to sell it down the line, because it is energy efficient. And we can talk about that a little later. A little bit of the technical side of it here on the slide is showing what we look at in the home energy score. So again, this is a mile per gallon rating. So if your Toyota Camry says it gets 30 miles to the gallon, but you drive at 100 miles per hour everywhere, you're not going to get 30 miles to the gallon.
Yep.
If you drive it much more conservatively and you drive at 60 miles per hour everywhere, you might get better a mile per gallon rating. So we don't look at with the home energy score the resident behavior or the electrical load, because that can change homeowner to homeowner, how many people are in the house, how many TVs they have, how many, if they like to turn their lights on and off, or if they have LED lights. So we're looking at the home assets that stay with the home: heating, hot water, ducts, cooling, the building envelope, things like the local climate and conditioned area of the home. So again, this makes it that same mile per gallon rating, where you might get in that home, you might have your thermostat, you know, down in the summer and up in the winter, and you might be leaving all your lights on. You might not have as great of efficiency as the report shows. You might be more conservative and have better, but again, it's that baseline that gives you the understanding of your house as a machine, of how it's going to perform, and again, how to make it better.
And those are the things that really impact your game plan of how over time you're going to make a building more efficient, right? Those are the sort of bones of it. Yeah, good stuff. So why don't you tell us a little bit? I mean, there's this amazing slide here. You know, this is a huge benefit to consumers, which is home buyers, homeowners, as you point out, home sellers being able to prove that they've added value to a house by making it more efficient. And boy, you hear all day long about people complaining of the cost of insurance, the cost of property taxes. And if you're listening to this, we've got a slide up, but the average U.S. homeowner costs $1,023 a year for homeowners insurance, $2,082 a year for property taxes, $2,506 a year for energy costs. So this is,
and that's what, So sorry to interrupt. I was going to say that's what we typically see with the energy costs, and sometimes in some homes we see the energy cost more than the property tax and homeowners insurance combined.
Yeah, that's right.
So next to your mortgage payment, energy is truly the highest annual cost to a homeowner. And when you're looking at buying a house, you're going to discuss with your lender or your realtor, you know, the property taxes, homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and all that kind of stuff. But no one's ever talking about the energy costs.
That's right.
So again, getting that kind of consumer protection in there. And it's something that you can see, again, if you're looking at the slides. You know, I like to kind of say in my generation, I'm, 32 years old, a millennial, and I kind of say that energy efficiency is the greatest consumer demand of my generation. Mm-hmm. And we look at things, that before, I was in a position to be buying a house and things like that. When I was a teenager, when solar was just kind of becoming emerging, and lithium ion batteries and electrical cars and things like that were just like the first Prius, like what a crazy joke, but look at where we're at now. Look at Tesla, look at solar going up all over the place. The cost of an LED bulb, if you're looking at this slide, it's actually amazing. Just 2010, 9 years ago, one LED bulb on average was over $60. Now, I just ordered some new LED bulbs on Amazon. I got a 4-pack of floodlights of LED bulbs for, I think it was like $12.
Yeah, and it's only going to get cheaper. So we've got solar, we got electric cars, we've got LED lights. We are trending electric, we're trending renewable, and we're trending a lot more energy efficient. So
absolutely. And so people want to know. So when you can say as a professional, that I can get you this information. That's impressive. That's valuable. That's something that people want. And I have home inspectors who are home energy score assessors, and they tell me all the time, hey, my client didn't end up getting or including the home energy score with their inspection if they're doing it as an ancillary service. But they told me specifically that they wanted to utilize my services because I had that expertise, that certification, and that, made them interested in my services and abilities.
So why don't you tell everybody, any home inspectors who are listening, this is obviously an add-on service. So this is another income stream for home inspectors, and it's fabulous marketing for home inspectors because you get to market yourself as both knowledgeable of green construction, of of energy conservation, and that you're trying to promote these things in your community. So it's great marketing opportunity as well as an income stream. So how does a home inspector get involved in this home energy score program?
Sure. Yeah, no, it's a great addition to any home inspection company. Like you can see on the slide, it's a little corny, but I think it makes sense. Kind of been running with this kind of phrase of one small step for every homeowner, one huge impact for future generations. And I think that's a lot of ways, even as a professional, to look at it. That, hey, yes, you're a business, you got to make money. I want you to make money. I'm going to give you the materials to be able to do that with this program. But it is, a lot of the guys who are in our program, they do have a deeper conscience for being involved in doing something that actually will benefit their communities, to lower lower emissions and improve energy efficiency. So as a home inspector, if you want to get involved, the DOE does have what I call a prerequisite to get involved with the program. And basically, you need to be a member of one of the more major associations, whether that's ASHI, InterNACHI, or the regional associations. Florida is FABI. In Texas, I believe it's TRPIA. In California, it's CREA.
Yep.
And so if you're involved or a member of one of these associations, that kind of is your green light into being able to enroll in the program.
Okay.
Basically, as long as you hit that relevant credential or prerequisite, you can almost just simply register online, at least with ID Energy, to become a home energy score assessor. And all of our programs are 100% remote. So we know you guys, home inspectors, you guys are some busy guys out there, and a lot of you guys are running so many aspects of your company. You're booking, you're scheduling, you're keeping your marketing going, and you're doing your inspections on top of it. So we've created a remote process. So when that one day when you have an inspection canceled, you can jump onto your laptop and do some work on the training, or at night when you're having a beer and relaxing, you can do some of that work and training as well.
So you have to do some online trading then to get ready. I mean, I would assume you'd have to, because you got to get used to filling out the report. Is that right?
Exactly. So the online training is what we call as the sim, and it's literally, if you've played the sim or Sims or whatever it is, it's the same. It's you're going into kind of you're playing a video game, doing a home energy score. So you're going through these virtual houses and you're collecting the data, like the area of windows, the R value of the attic insulation, or the foundation insulation, things like that. And you're learning the tool. It takes on average, I think, about 10 hours of time online. So some guys, they'll do it in one long day. They'll take a Saturday off and they'll wake up and start at 8 and finish that evening. Some guys will do it an hour or two every night for a few weeks and get through it. And then once you get through that online training, you get mentored, and we mentor you again remotely. So in a nutshell, you'd go and you'd do your first home energy score. You collect the data and a series of photos, about 20 plus or minus, maybe a few depending on the size and complexity of the home. You submit that online, and then you review that data and photos and your report with one of our approved and certified mentors, potentially myself. We're going to walk through your report, and the idea of it isn't to, grade you necessarily, but it's to make sure that you're confident and comfortable in being able to perform this for a client and for realtors and so forth. And so that's kind of the two-step training process right there. You get through the online training, you do your mentoring, and then we send you a certificate of completion that is worth 8 ASHI continuing education credits. And we kick you out the door with a nice marketing suite with logos, flyers, real estate presentations, all the above to help you market and promote this as a part of your business, and you can start running with it.
And then, do you, as a home inspector, is there, like, what do you charge, and what does it cost for every report that you do?
Sure. So there's some variables out there of how guys are supplying this. And so the most typical way and way that guys look at it, just kind of first instinct, is, of course, to sell it as an ancillary service, just like if it was a radon or mold or IR, whatever it may be, which is a great thing. Again, like you're saying, a huge, not just a great service to provide, a huge marketing kind of aspect here to be able to promote your business as, whether you want to call it green branding, hey, we are conscious of this, we can do home energy scores for you. Great marketing. Selling as an ancillary service. Guys selling it as an ancillary service with a home inspection are charging, I see, anywhere between $50, $125 in that wide range, depending on the size of the home. And granted, think about this: when the guys that I have, home inspectors who are doing home energy scores, once they have 5, 10 underneath their belt and they've kind of worked it into their process, it's taking them maybe an additional 10 or 15 minutes on site with the home inspection.
Yeah, so it's not adding a huge amount of time. Yeah.
Correct. So I'd say the average cost as an ancillary service is probably about $75 add-on.
Okay.
We're getting a lot more guys today because of the market and because of the marketing, and because it is a pretty a non-invasive piece. It's, if you add a home energy score, it's not going to screw your whole day up or add another hour onto your inspection time.
And you don't need any special equipment, so you don't need blower doors, you don't need thermal cameras, or all that stuff. Okay.
Correct. Basically, anything you got for your home inspection is all that you need for your home energy score. So a lot of these guys are actually providing it as a standard part of their home inspection.
Sure.
Some guys have done this and they've increased their cost to cover it. Some guys, the cost that it takes to be a part of the program, they take that on as a marketing cost, because that way when someone calls them and they say, hey, well, I'm price shopping or this or that, they can say, oh, well, with our home inspection, you also get a free Department of Energy home energy score, and they can use that as marketing as well. So that being said, the cost to a home inspector right now, there is an annual subscription, and that covers your DOE required quality assurance. The program can enable you to get mortgages through FHA and Fannie Mae to finance energy efficient type renovations. I forget which one. Awesome. Definitely talk with your lender friends and contacts. But I forget which one, Fannie Mae or FHA. You can actually get an increase on your debt to income ratio. So an increase on your mortgage if you're looking at a higher scoring home, because they know you're going to be saving money on your energy costs as well. Cities and states are starting to mandate this as well. So that's coming into a real estate transaction. So long story short, the DOE, also being a federal department, requires quality assurance to make sure, more than anything, people aren't, scoring someone's home as a 10 when it's really a 3, to get them some kind of discount. So we perform quality assurance based off of photos. There is a cost to that annually. The minimum cost for a home inspector is $200 a year. The maximum cost for unlimited quality assurance is $399, at least at this moment right here in May 2019. That also gets you your quality assurance, access to all of our software online, and both of our new emerging mobile applications, which will be out here at the end of spring for iPhone and Android. Gets you technical and program support. So you can always give me a call and say, hey, how do I do this? I got this error. How do I explain that? We're here to help you. And last but not least, it also comes with what we call our exclusive marketing suite. And again, that has flyers, real estate presentations, and a lot of stuff that's really generated to be great marketing items for home inspectors.
I must say, even though my energy auditing business never made much money, I still get calls today, 15 years later, as like the guy that understands green construction. And so it was great marketing. I still get work out of it. So great.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, we get a name for yourself as somebody that understands energy efficiency in buildings, and people appreciate that, and they'll pair you up with the clients that also appreciate that. So good stuff. And we'll get your links in the YouTube channel. We'll try to get a link maybe to where they can go to sign up. Does that sound good?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can just send me that. We'll put it up in the YouTube video here. So this is also a really important program for real estate professionals. How can realtors use a program like this to help their clients, to help their business, to help them look better, to help them get more business?
So we're really just starting to kind of make a big turn with real estate, as the kind of first really big program that has emerged recently is in Portland, Oregon. And in Portland, actually, it is mandated, or policy, that anyone selling a home has to have a home energy score done and publicly listed to be able to have that home on the MLS system.
Wow.
So obviously that affects real estate quite a bit. But when we look at kind of the studies in real estate, and specifically through NAR, the National Association of Realtors, they do what they call a sustainability report every year. The 2019 report just came out, and it tells us that 69% of realtors said energy efficiency promotion in listings was very or somewhat valuable. Mm-hmm. So we have a large majority of realtors saying that being able to promote a building or home's energy efficiency while listing it is valuable. People, that adds value to your home. There's another study that isn't up on here. I think it was done by Redfin that showed energy efficient homes can sell anywhere between 7 and 10% higher than that median home's market rate. Mm-hmm. So investing in energy efficiency, again, as I kind of said earlier, it's not only going to save you money month to month on your energy bills, but potentially can make your house more give your house more appeal and add value to it when you're listing it to sell somewhere down the line.
Yep.
So we also see for clients, so when we're talking about, so that's with sellers, if you have an energy efficient home, it's a great thing to be able to list and show, but you can't just say the normal average person, if you list, hey, I got a high efficiency furnace, I have R60 in the attic, I have triple pane windows, I have, whatever. That's in one ear out the other. That's but when right. You can show an average person, hey, this has a home energy score of an 8, it is among the top 20% of energy efficient homes in the country, they go, oh, well, damn.
Yeah. This is the angle for real estate agents. I mean, you might talk to home inspectors you work with, but if you find one that can do something like this as a pre-listing, if you're interviewing to get a listing in the house and the client selling it is boasting of all these energy efficiency things that they have done, rather than having that be this sort of ephemeral thing that is hard to explain, getting a home energy score can be a great way to just put that value right on the table so people can see it. So I think it could be a great tool for pre-listing inspections for real estate agents.
Yeah, and huge. And I know there's a lot of inspectors out there who are really trying to push that pre-listing inspection and get that to realtors. And this is just, I mean, there's a lot of controversy around it. I don't want to get into it, but I think the home energy score is a great addition to that to, again, add value to, if you're one of those inspectors who's really pushing pre-listing inspections, you gotta be including a home energy score. It's just the wave of the future.
Yeah.
But even for buyers, we can see the importance, again, out of this NAR sustainability report shows the top features that are important to buyers. Yep. And there's a little chart up there of the top 5 ones that we see. And the top 5 most important features to buyers, to me, I'd say that 3 of the 5 are directly related to the home's energy efficiency. 1, a comfortable living space. The 3rd is windows, doors, and siding, their age and quality. Mm-hmm. And the 4th most important is a home's utility bills and operational costs.
Yep.
The other funny thing is that the other 2 that I leave out is proximity to places like schools, work. And then the 5th is commuting costs, which both probably have a pretty direct correlation to energy as well. Just
absolutely.
Energy.
But you guys help calculate that in the energy score. That would be more like a walk score type thing, I would imagine.
Correct. Yeah, correct. But see, just out of that though, it's like 3 of the top 5 most important things to buyers out there directly related to their energy efficiency. Where are they getting that information? How are they understanding it? Yeah. Who's giving it to them? And the last point on kind of the real estate side of things is that for the 4th consecutive year in a row, millennials now are the largest group of home buyers.
Yeah.
That is only going to continue. Again, myself as a millennial, we range from, I believe, the people in their early 20s, maybe 23, 24 now, to people in their late 30s, 37, 38 is kind of our millennial generation. And so we're only going to continue to be the largest group of home buyers. And next up after us is, I think, what they're calling Generation Z. I'm not sure, but the ones the ones behind us millennials are only going to be more intense, most likely, about efficiency and climate action and things like that. And one of the quotes that I like to, I don't like to get too political too much, but one of the interesting things is that a study was done that showed over 3/4 of millennials, regardless of political affiliation, whichever side of the aisle that you're on, 3/4 of millennials agree that we should take major steps towards action against climate change.
Yeah.
So that just shows you, without any political affiliation, people care and want better energy efficiency. It's not a right or left side a topic as it sometimes gets pushed into.
It doesn't need to be, for sure.
Correct. Yeah, it doesn't need to be. If you're making it one, it doesn't need to be.
That's right.
So that again, with that large group of home buyers, those type of people and what millennials want out of their homes, we're looking for smaller homes, we're looking for more efficient homes, and that housing affordability. I was talking to my mom the other day, and I said, what was in 1985 or 6, I believe it was, is when she bought her first house, and I said, what was your mortgage? And she said, it was like $800 a month or something like that for literally a brand new house.
Yeah.
Today, I can't find a house, and Dylan and I are in the Seattle area for guys around. You can't find a house for under $500,000.
Yeah,
so
no, that's like a teardown.
Yeah, and that's a teardown. That's what, $2,500, $3,000 a month.
Yeah.
So it's not that we just want housing affordability. When it comes, if that's what we are looking at paying for mortgages, we have to have affordable energy costs.
Yep, absolutely.
It's bottom line. So that's where the market's going, and so we're seeing it emerge now, but. If it isn't in your area now, it really hasn't become not even a trend anymore. But what is happening, it's going to be, because
I think that's
this generation not gonna. They have to get it. They have to get it, or we're not gonna be able to afford to live anywhere.
That's the important takeaway here. I mean, my experience in doing energy efficiency stuff 10, 15 years ago, I kind of felt like I was ahead of the curve there a bit. And but you guys are really starting to make some traction in a bunch of states now. So if you're not familiar with this program, you probably will be in the next few years. It's coming your way. It's expanding, and consumers are demanding it. And so not a bad program to consider and kind of get out in front of it in your local market. I think it can help real estate agents. It can help home inspectors kind of get consumers ready for the home purchase. I think it's a really valuable tool. So I'm impressed, Brent. You guys have come a long way in the last 6 years.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of work and a lot more work to go. But again, I take it pretty, I kind of personally put it on my shoulders that, again, if it was up to me, I'd be, building solars, net zero houses, every single place that you can go. But that's not the country we live in. That's not the world we live in. The average American doesn't want to live in a hemp concrete home, or something like that. We want our American amenities, but if we can do something as simple, if everyone can do something as simple as a home energy score, and everyone can make a little bit of difference, that overall difference in change, again, to energy consumption, to costs, to carbon emissions, it could be world changing. It could be
every little bit's going to help here. There's no silver bullet in any of this, so we're all going to have to chip in and do our part. So this is a really important tool. So, well, Brent, I really appreciate you taking the time. You've done some great work here with the home energy score, and we'll try to post some links up on our YouTube channel so people can get in touch with you, and hopefully some home inspectors and some realtors are interested in bringing this to their communities to help their community.
Dylan, man, thank you so much for having me. It was an absolute pleasure. I hope I can come back sometime so we can geek out on some energy stuff. And
I love it. Let's talk some bling next time. We'll get into some maybe some ductless heat pumps and some
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And thanks everyone for listening. We appreciate it. And yeah, we'll put the links in. Check out the home energy score if you're interested in the program. I'd love to be in contact with you. And thanks again, Dylan.
All right, thanks for having you, Brent. Take care, man.
Thank you, brother.
Bye. Hey, a big thanks to our sponsors today. I want to thank Scribeware Home Inspection Report Software for your efforts to transform the home inspection report writing industry. For Dylan Chalk, the Confident House Hunter, a fabulous resource for home buyers and realtors for getting out in front of the home inspection. And as always, thanks to Dylan Chalk House Talk for hosting this podcast. Thanks for your support.